What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good day. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of a market breakdown because I did not make any trades today. I'm going to explain why. So, first things, the market closed at 1 p.m. Eastern time today in observance of Thanksgiving yesterday. So, yesterday we didn't have any trades because the market was closed, and then today we had the market closed at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, first 15 minutes ended. We had a high at 390.27, had a low at 389 flat. Um, Basically, we were starting to show a little bit more downwards direction. Lower lows, lower highs. Got rejected at the moving average on the 1 minute, pulled back, broke below the EMA. Even though it did pull down to 388.99, I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. In this range right here, the reason why I drew this range was because look what happened when it would break this support. It would pull back, get rejected. Look what happened the moment it breaks below, shoots right back up, pulls right back up. So I started to see this whole area as a as a demand zone, and I wanted just to see. I mainly just wanted to see how the market was going to deal with this. So that's why I drew it so long. But yeah, around here, I won't even lie to you guys. At around 10:40, around 10:50, I got off. I sort of just made the decision. One, low volume. Two, market direction wasn't the clearest, and on top of that, we were not showing any true continuation on the downside nor the upside. Um, so that right there, I just had a big problem with. I don't like to trade on this inside mesh right here. That's how I avoid getting caught in those fake out breakouts and that kind of those not those fake out breakouts. But when I trade in here, I've tend to notice that I do tend to when I used to rely on the EMA and the moving average a lot, like when I solely used to rely on those, I would tend to get caught in when I would think it's getting rejected at the EMA and I would go short. In reality, it's just sellers just pushing, kicking in a little bit. So I've definitely tried to stay away from this inside mess. I just call this noise. I like to stay away from the noise and focus on the outsides, the breakdowns or the breakouts. But yeah, that's why I didn't really make a trade today, guys. I just didn't feel comfortable. I trusted my gut. Another thing too, I've been trying to be real disciplined and only trade when directions in my favor, when there's good volume, and there's not I want I don't want to trade every day, guys. You should never want to trade every day. You need to have those days where you can look at the market and you can just say, hey, this is not something I want to put my money in. This is something I don't feel comfortable putting my money in. I do not want to open myself up to a position of risk with this mess. So I'm just going to log off the computer and get out and enjoy the day. And that's what I did today. I enjoyed the day with my girl and my dogs, and just, at around 10:45, 11 o'clock, I just bounced. I said, you know what? It got to a point, guys, I'm not even going to lie to you. It got to a point where I was really wanting to get into SQQQ calls. And I was like, no, it's like, just log off. I was like, there really isn't a lot of volume. And I was following every candlestick on the 1 minute time frame. And even in the 5 minute, I was just like, man, there's still direction is not strong. Direction is not truly clear. We're not really making a lot of progress on the downside, and we really didn't. Yeah, right here, we finally hit a lower low at 388.73. But just put this in perspective for 5 seconds, guys. Okay, I like to wait for a break below and open, and for it to retest the validator. Okay, so let's say I would have waited for those three things. Let's just say I would have waited. Okay, so right here wouldn't have had it happen because we had a lot of rejection, had a lot of buyers kick in. As you can see, pushed back up to around 389.30. Now, once we did have a break below and open, because we did have an open below the support, the open range support, sorry, retested, and look what happened when it retested it. Pulled right back down, bounced off, went to go retest the EMA. Now, at that point, the moment it broke above this EMA, I probably would have cut my losses. So that's a trade right there that I could have seen myself got caught in. So I'm glad that I stepped away. I'm glad that I just I sort of got myself to be avoided by something else, just to be occupied just so that way I really wouldn't pay too much attention to the computer. Because around like 10:15, 10:30, I was like, okay, I started paying more attention to like the order books and like the volume, and I was just like, it was just getting real eerie for me. But I mean, even look for this, guys. Let's look at this real quick. Break below, open, go to retest. Now look what happened. This would have been a great setup too. Had that break, that open below. We pull all the way back to 388.50. This is when I would have waited for a retest in this area. Wait for it to validate. Gets rejected. Look what happened. Lower high. So even if I would have got in right here or right here, I most likely would have got caught in this nice little rally right here. And then look what happened. Lower a higher low again. And then for the rest of the day, it just traded sideways. But yeah, that's just like, that's my biggest thing, guys, is today I want you guys just to understand and learn, like, hey, I don't need to trade every day. It's okay not to trade every day. Sometimes you got to be able to take a step back. For instance, even on the 5 minute, I looked at the 5 minute right before I got off and I saw all of this. Let me zoom in real quick for you guys. All that pressure kicking in. Look at this. Buyers. That's just nothing but buyers just getting straight rejected on this 5 minute. Right here. Even look right here. Breaks below, gets rejected with buyers. Even right here. Buyers. I just, and that's another thing. Is what made me truly like finally decide, hey, I'm gonna get off. I'm just gonna enjoy the day. Was looking at the 5 minute. When I zoomed out a little bit and I just looked at the 5 minute time frame, I was like, you know what? No continuation on the downside. We're trading sideways. I was like, I feel like this is probably going to go in the middle where the noise is, and I'm going to want to stay away from that. So I just called it quits, logged off, and got off. But yeah, I just wanted, one thing I can like, I want this video to be an understanding of you don't need to trade every day, and getting used to that is a very important thing because I do feel like I'm getting to the point now where my red days are few and far between. They're getting less and less. I used to have a few every week. Now I have you know, like this week, I didn't have a single red day. Yeah, I only traded Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and last Friday. But since I started the $100 account challenge, and I'm on a nice little 4-day green streak, which is nice. But how can I say this in the right way? If I can just be able to zoom out a little bit and say, hey, direction's not in my favor. There's no continuation on the downside or upside. I'm not seeing anything I want, and we're trading in the noise. Just get out. And I feel like if I can continue to do that, what I did today, I will be able to avoid future red days in the future. And hopefully, if you guys start doing this and you guys start understanding that, hey, I don't need to trade every day. Because I won't lie to you guys, I've only been trading for maybe like a year and a half. And I remember even 6 months into trading, I would get on and I'd be like, okay, I got to make a trade. Like money, 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 money. That's all I thought about. But one of the best pieces of advice I heard was it's not about making the money. You can make all this money trading. You guys seen me profit 5K if you in October. I showed you guys. I profited 5K. But because I took over a 3.5K loss in that month, I only ended the month up 1.8K. So think if I could have just minimized those red days and just been like, hey, today's not a good day to trade. Direction's not that clear. All my ducks are not in a row, and I'm just going to get off. And I guarantee I could have cut a few red days off last month. And so I'm just trying to make sure I learn from every previous month. Don't make the mistake I made last month. Like for instance, last month I took one of my biggest losses when I was trading futures on Top Step simply because I was not waiting for an open below for a break, an open, and a valid and a retest. When I wait for all three of those things, I probably easily have a 75% success rate with this 15-minute open range strategy. But when I get in, the moment we break below, I tend to get faked out. I tend to get caught in those fake out breakouts. And you guys saw me 2-3 weeks ago where I had 2 weeks in a row where I did horrible simply because I lacked the patience to wait for those three things: break below, open, and a retest. And, you know, I missed out on, there was one day where I missed out on a massive sell off with Nasdaq. It was like a month, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I finally accepted. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to trading the way that really made me that 12 day green day streak. You guys go back a few weeks, you'll see that I went on a 12-day green streak. And you'll see the moment my green streak ended, it was because I stopped being patient. I stopped waiting for those three things, those three small things. And I didn't see any of it today. And so I walked away. And that's what I want. And that's what I want more of for me. And for you guys especially. Because I know some of you guys are getting into this and you think, oh, I got to make all this money. I got to make all this money. You can make all the money in the world. But if your risk management is shit and you ain't you ain't controlling your losses and your risk to reward ratio isn't the best, that money's going to go down the drain sooner than later. It's just more about controlling that risk, controlling those losses, and just being more picky about the days you trade. And honestly, like I would love to get to the point where I only trade maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I've seen some guys. You guys know. I don't know his last name, but his name is Umar. He trades options. He makes like 6 figures a month, and he even said he showed his whole calendar. And sometimes his calendar will only have 5 days out of the month, and he'll still profit like 150K. And that's crazy. The fact that like he can trade half the month, be so picky to where if he doesn't see exactly what he wants, he does not trade. And everybody has this mentality with, oh, I'll make money when I have a 100K account or I have a 200K account. No, the fuck you won't. You can't even manage your losses, and you can't even manage your red days, and you are forcing trades. The 100K is going to go down to 50K just like that. And I'm glad I don't have a big account. Really, I am, because I don't have the patience or the discipline for a 100K account. Don't get me wrong. Would the money be nice? Of course it would. I'd be lying, be very ignorant of me if I sit here and said, "Oh, I don't want a 100K account." Bullshit. I want a 100K account, but I want it when I'm going to be ready. Just because I want it doesn't mean I need it, you know. And when I get to that point where I can have, where I'm comfortable missing a day or two a week from trading, because like, hey, directions is not in my favor, motherfucker. Walk away. Swallow that ego, swallow that pride, and push it away. Push it away and do what I did today. I literally just started manually just exiting out everything and just like I literally just did a software update and I was like, hey, I got a reason to close my computer, and I did, and I walked away, and then a few hours later, the market closed. And I had no more reason to get back on there. I had no reason to look because I knew, hey, markets close at 1 p.m. And I did look at it at like 12 o'clock, and it was still sideways and it was in the noise. So I was like, okay. I was like, excuse me. I was like, thank God I didn't trade. You know, I don't want this to be about just like watching my wins, watching my green days, watching me grow this $100 account. That's going to be awesome. And it'll come in time. But this is also about lessons and making sure that you guys don't trade on those days where market direction is shit. If market direction is not clear, don't trade. Be okay with just walking away. I understand we all want to make money, but what's the point of making money if you're just going to turn around and lose it in a few days or in a week or two? But that's just me. If you guys got any future recommendations for future videos, I'd much appreciate it. Please comment below, like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Oh, a few things I'm going to do this week to prepare for the next week is I'm going to read my journals. Even though it's only 3 days, 3 days can still help me because I did make some mistakes in those 3 days of trading. So I can read my journals. I can study more videos, supply and demand, fake out breakouts, breakdowns, breakouts, avoiding traps, candlestick patterns. I can do stuff on that. Videos on volume. I probably need to get a little bit better about reading volume, reading the order book more. That's another thing. And just looking at old chart patterns. Trying to see where I could avoid fake out breakouts in certain areas from the past. And rewatching my old videos. Rewatching my old videos, I have found have been some of the biggest like reminders of like, hey, don't do this or don't do that, or being more just being safe. But I just wanted to tell you guys a few things that I'm doing to prepare for the market this upcoming week. I hope you guys have a safe weekend. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving yesterday. I'll see you guys Monday. Hope you guys have a good day.